So hello everybody, this is American Single Predictions, and I'm back with a new video. Okay, so I have to admit it basically. Georgia, yeah, it's too far gone. Oh, I mean, I can't stop. I mean, as long as I keep on giving positive info about how maybe the GOP can do it, maybe they can do this, yeah. You gotta remember the Atlanta Metro. I mean, just look at, like, the Atlanta Metro. I mean, look at Gwinnett County. I mean, even if someone like DeSantis, he will still probably see bleeding. Maybe it won't be as bad as, like, this. Maybe we probably definitely won't be seeing, like, D plus 30 swings to the left. D plus 38 swings, probably. But we're still probably going to be seeing Democrat swings in a lot of these areas. I mean, the blacks are just moving in here like crazy. Until the GOP can find a way to get black somehow, Georgia isn't going to be on the table. And the longer the GOP panders to Georgia, the more we probably, I think, will lose. I mean, yeah, 16 electoral votes, in my opinion, are very valuable. But the thing is that the trends are just getting further and further away from the Republican Party. I mean, every time you see it, I mean, it's just like, yeah, Republicans don't have a shot at all. You know, maybe Republicans could do better in an area like Cobb. That might be more of a Trump issue. But even then, it's not going to be enough to save Georgia. I mean, look at areas like Henry. These are areas where blacks are moving like crazy. So, I mean, it's not exactly, it's basically done. Now, I do think Herschel Walker and probably Brian Kemp will probably be able to win. It's a red wave. They're too favorable in that stuff. In 2024, maybe it could go red, but I don't really know. Blacks wouldn't really have to turn out that much in areas like Gwinnett and Henry, or even like just in metro area. Trump would probably arguably get close, but he would probably lose it. It'd probably be less than a point. And I think Trump kind of has to ignore the state. I mean, I think he just has to admit the trends. I do think since Biden's doing really bad, even with Biden doing really awful, it might not be enough to save it. I mean, I did say, hey, maybe DeSantis, he does have some of that southern appeal, and I do think he's better with the suburbanites. But there's not as many suburbanites that turned off from an area maybe like Collin County, where there's like a lot of like people that just didn't like Trump, but they like someone like John Cornyn, like that. But in Georgia and Gwinnett County, there's not really a ton of those voters. Maybe in areas like northern Atlanta, like the Buckhead area. That might be the only area where I think there's a lot of those voters, and maybe some parts of Cobb. But that's about it when it comes to those voters. And we're going to probably see continued bleeding in areas like McHenry County and Gwinnett. Now, DeSantis, I do think, yes, definitely does have a better suburban field, but, I mean, it's just too much for him to handle. I mean, can he really do better in an area like this area? And is he really going to do that much better than blacks than Trump? And he might do a few points, but again, like, this isn't really, like, that good. And I think it's most likely going to be Trump's going to be a nominee. And it's not really, like, worth spending your time. And it's probably going to end up, like, down like Colorado was in 2012, where Mitt Romney really tried to, like, put a lot of time into it, but just ended up collapsing. And he didn't focus on the states that really mattered, like Ohio and that, and, like, maybe some of those Rust Belt states. But, I mean, so I hope that someone like Trump doesn't focus really on it. It's technically like Colorado. I think the GOP should put as much time into it like a state like Colorado. And the demographics are just too far. And another thing, can I just say that John McCain actually did better than Trump did in 2016 in this state? I mean, McCain, I think, won by somewhere around 5 points. Trump, like 5.9, almost 6 points. Trump won by 5 points. And we all know that Trump got way more electoral votes than John McCain did. And the fact that that's happened really did show the future of Georgia. I mean, I mean, I was expecting maybe Trump could win it. I think would have won it. But I mean, just look at these demographics and the shifts. I think it was kind of clear. People just kind of ignored it. But I mean, the more you look at the map, I have to see maybe DeSantis could have probably won if he ran in 2020, 2024, and maybe not. Maybe if it's Kamala Harris, then I think it could still go red. But I mean, demographics alone, I mean, the state's just gone for the GOP. Unless if the GOP can find a way to tap into the blacks, it's not really like something that's worth getting. And it's probably going to stay that way. Now, I don't think it's going to get as democratic as a state like Colorado or Virginia. I still think it would be like in single digits because Republicans still rack up strong rural margins in the rurals. That would probably offset Atlanta enough so that way it's not like a 10-point win for Democrats. So here's my 2024 prediction. I do think Trump will flip back to more of these rural counties. I think he'll flip back an area like Baldwin County. I mean, it's only gotten a little bit more Democratic, but it's only Biden plus 1.3, and probably Washington County. I think both of these counties will probably go red. So yeah, I do think Herschel Walker and David Perdue, and probably Brian Kemp, because they're both probably pretty solid guys. But after that, it's going to be pretty difficult. Even in 2024, I mean, even if the candidate is like more suburban, he'd still probably lose. Probably something like DeSantis, even though he's a real great guy, he would not do well, in my opinion, in these areas. I don't know, maybe I'm getting too far ahead of myself, but I think you're just going to admit that George is gone. I mean, there's no point in saving it. So yeah, I just had to say it. So anyway, guys, thanks for watching. American Seal Predictions out.